There are three properties of logarithms that we use a lot whenever we solve equations. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to practice using these properties in order so that we'll be ready to solve equations. So here they are. There are three. The first one is called the product property. Product property says log base b represents any number of a product where the argument is a product right here. Then the product property says that we could split that logarithm into two logarithms and add them together. So log base b of u times v is equal to log base b of u plus log base b of v. Okay, so that's the first one. Product means we're going to change it to a log plus a log. Okay, the quotient property is second. Quotient property has to do with when the argument is a quotient, something divided by something. Log base b of u divided by v is the same thing as log base b of u minus log base b of v. So notice whenever our argument is a quotient, we can split it apart into two logarithms and subtract the two logarithms. Notice that the numerator goes first, the denominator goes second. Okay? And then the third property is called the power property. A power, we know, is something with an exponent. So it has to do with when the argument is a power, something with an exponent, u to the n. Okay? The power property says that this is the same thing as n times log base b of u. So I want you to notice where the exponent goes. The exponent goes directly in front of the logarithm. Okay? All right, so we're going to look at two examples. One, where we expand one logarithm into many logarithms using the properties. Okay, so we're going to start with in what order do we use the properties? The order is quotient, and then product, and then power last. Okay, so we're going to expand this logarithm into two using the quotient property first, because I see a quotient. We have 7x cubed divided by y. So we're going to split it apart into two logarithms and make it log base 4 of 7x cubed minus log base 4 of y. Notice the numerator goes first, the denominator goes second. Okay? And then I notice that this logarithm has a product, 7 times x cubed. So we're going to split that apart into two logarithms, log base 4 of 7 plus log base 4 of x cubed. And then this guy stays exactly the same. Okay? And then lastly, we look at your arguments, and do you have any powers? Yes, we do. We have x cubed is a power. So this exponent, the power property, tells me that this exponent can go directly in front of the logarithm. So we're going to make it 3 times log base 4 of x. Okay, so all this is an exercise in practicing using our properties. So we're expanding here. We're starting with one logarithm and making it many logarithms. Okay, so this next example, we're going to start with more than one logarithm, and we're going to condense it, make it smaller into one logarithm using the properties. So since we're going backwards, since instead of expanding we're condensing, we're going to go backwards in the order in which we use our properties. We're going to do power first, and then product, and then quotient. Okay, so we're going to use the power property first. So how do I know I need to use the power property? I see numbers in front of my logarithm. So these numbers need to go back and become exponents. So what we have here is 2 times log of 3 is the same thing as log of 3 squared. Now remember, you don't see a base. You don't see a base, and so that's an understood base 10. That's a common logarithm. Keep that in mind. Okay? Minus, and then I have 4 times log of 3, so that becomes log of 3 to the 4th. Okay? So we're going to change 3 squared to 9, and we're going to change 3 to the 4th to 81. Okay? Okay, so what I have now is I want to look for product property. How do I know I need to use the product property? Well, if I see a log plus a log is when I would need to use the product property, and I don't have that. But I do have a log minus a log, which means I need quotient property. So I'm going to condense these two logarithms into one and make it log of 9 divided by 81. And 9 divided by 81 is